Hello, my name is Scott, and I'm glad you're come to join us to watch this video. Hope you're having a good summer so far. I know it's kind of a weird summer so far. We are kind of sad that we don't get to see you personally, but we're here with these videos, and I hope you're enjoying watching the videos. Today, we're going to be talking about something very basic that every actor has to deal with no matter what show you're in, and it's basically blocking or staging. Now, before we begin though, there are a couple of tools you're going to need to go get. Number one, you need to go get a pencil. If you don't have a pencil, you need to go get one. And then you might want to get something to write on. Just so you can write down a few things that you might need to know later. So, if you do not have a pencil and you do not have something to write on, I'll give you some time to go get it. Okay, you got it? All right. Why a pencil? Well, very good reason. It is, particularly in acting, during rehearsal, this is an actor's tool. You wouldn't go to band rehearsal without your instrument. You wouldn't go to choir rehearsal without your music, and you wouldn't go to your sports practice without your equipment. You're going to need this. Why? Well, you're also going to be getting a script. And in that, you're going to have to write what we're about to talk about here in just a few minutes in your script, and that is blocking. Well, Scott, why do I need to do that? Well, what you're going to need to do is that way you'll know where you need to go on stage, where you stand, where you sit, all of those things. And that's where you write it down, is in your script. Okay? So, as I said, today we're going to be talking about blocking or staging. And here's where you're going to need this. There basically are four areas of staging that we're going to concentrate on. We're going to concentrate on credibility, meaning, are you creating a reliable character, a character that makes sense? Visibility, can we see you on stage? Focus, meaning, are you focused? Is the audience focused on you? And levels, and we'll talk about that in just a few minutes as well. Levels, different areas, different levels. Some people are sitting, some people are standing. That's what we're talking about. So, use your pencil. Go ahead and write those down. You got them? Now, the best part about these videos is if we're going too fast, you can go back and look at it again. Okay? All right. So, the first thing we're going to talk about is something we call blocking. Now, for those of you who have been in shows before, you know exactly what this is. Those of you who have never been in a show, blocking. Blocking is basically where the actors move on stage. That's probably a very simple explanation. Blocking, where the actors move on stage. Do they move in a way that looks credible, meaning that's how your character would walk or sit or stand? Can we see you? All right. Is the focus on you? Are you focused? And are there certain levels? So we're going to talk about blocking. We're just going to do some very basic things. Now, when a director gets ready to do their script, directors do different things. For example, when I'm directing a show, before I even come to rehearsal, I have my script and I start going through it and I start looking at where I want my actors to move and to stand and to exit and where they come in. And what I do is I will take the first letter of the character's name. It's almost like football. And I'll put it on there and then I'll have little dots going or little lines going where I want them to move. That's how I do it. I know I worked with one director. It was kind of funny. She took all of the condiments out of her refrigerator, the pickles and the mustard and the ketchup and the salt and the pepper, and those were her actors, and she moved them around. I've known people who've gotten little tiny pieces of paper and they've moved them around. I even knew somebody who was very clever and probably a little more organized, and they actually made little cardboard cutouts of their actors and they moved them around. They were blocking. Well, then you might ask, well, Scott, then why do I need to write this down? Well, those of us on stage, including our cameraman, will know that blocking changes all the time. Because what happens is, it's not that the director doesn't know what they're doing, it's that once you get on stage, you realize, oh, wait a minute, that's not going to work. So what you as an actor just wrote down in your script, you now have to erase and write down something else. Now, there are some things that you as an actor can take care of yourself on stage if there is a blocking issue. Let's start with one. Julie behind. Julie and I are on stage, and we are actors and characters. Do you see something wrong with this? What's wrong with this? Can anyone tell me what's wrong with this? You're right. What's wrong with this is you can't see Julie. Well, wait a minute, Scott. Julie doesn't have the line now. Doesn't matter. She's an actor on stage. She needs to be seen. You as an actor, how are you going to fix that? You don't need to say, hey, director, I'm behind this person. No, you as an actor can fix it very easily. But we're going to show you first how not to fix it. Julie, would you fix this mistake wrong? That was wrong. Because it took the focus, remember one of our words, away from the person talking. Julie, fix this mistake correctly. You see what you did? In character, as I'm still talking, she just took a step or two away in character. Yeah, the audience may have seen her do it, but then their focus is back on the person talking. As you as an actor, very easy to do. I have found myself on stage accidentally behind somebody else. Super easy. Just take a couple of steps off. No big deal. Another way is also focus. Remember that again, one of our words. What is wrong with what you're about to see? To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether it is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. What was wrong with that? Anybody have any idea? Can you tell me what's wrong with that? Right. What was wrong with that was I'm the speaker, and my back was to the audience. My voice was going up there. Plus, you saw my back, which is probably not something you want to see. Super easy way to fix it. Super easy way to fix it. As the speaker, I can fix it very easily by simply doing this. Watch. To be or not to be. Do you see what I did? I walked up to the person. Also, another way that it can be fixed is by the person being spoken to. To be or not to be, that is the question. Do you see what I did? They just took a couple of steps and they moved it so the audience can see us. This is called upstaging. You just upstaged yourself. Why? Because you're facing upstage, you're talking upstage. Upstaging is where you lose the focus. You don't want to do that. All right? Did you write that down? Upstaging. Bad. All right. What you as an actor need to do, and you'll probably have directors tell you this a lot, it's something called cheat out. Anybody have any idea what that means? Any idea? Cheat out. Okay. The audience comes to the show to see you. I know, weird, right? If you're standing here like this, they don't see you. They want to see you. Plus, they want to hear you. I had a director in college tell me, and it's kind of stuck with me, when you're on stage, whether you have the line or not, face the corners. Look, I'm facing the corner, and you can see me. Face the corners. You can also be a little profile. This is called profile. That's okay too. Remember, upstaging? Bad. So as an actor on stage, there are things you can do that the director may not catch because they're doing a bunch of other stuff that you can do very easily. Don't upstage yourself. Find the corners. The audience will always be able to see you. Now, there are going to be times in a show where the director says, I do want you to have your back to the audience. And there may be a reason for that. There may be something coming up that will surprise the audience. If the director actually says to you, I need your back to the audience, that's okay. There's a reason for it. But if your back is to the audience and your director didn't tell you to do that, don't do that. Okay? Another thing that I see a lot of actors do, and I don't think they're even conscious of it, we call it backpedaling. Now, other directors may call it something else, but it's called backpedaling. And this is what happens. Julie's back here. I'm the speaker, and this is what backpedaling is. To be or not to be, that is the question. What did you see was wrong with that? Did you see? Can you tell? Who in your life do you know talks that way, where they talk as they back up? There are a couple ways you as an actor can fix that. We've already done one of them. Instead of backpedaling, just do this. To be or not to be. See what I did? Or, if you're real far apart, we can meet in the middle. To be or not to be. Very easy. Don't backpedal. It looks funny, it looks uncomfortable, and it's not natural. All right? So, we've talked about 4 things. We'll talk about level changes in a minute. Blocking, that's what we're talking about. Blocking. Did you get that down? Okay. We talked about upstaging. Don't do that. We talked about cheat out. And we talked about backpedaling. Don't do that. The last thing I want to talk about is levels. What do you mean by levels, Scott? Levels, okay, on the stage, not everybody stands like this all the time. They don't do that in real life. Matter of fact, how many times, those of you who've been in a show, how many times have you heard a director say, you're all standing in a chorus line? That means we're standing, looks like we could do this, right? No. As a director, crowd scenes are a nightmare, trying to direct crowd scenes. So you want to have different levels. Well, there's several different ways to have levels. If your set is like an apartment or a house, someone's living room, easy. Have somebody sit. Have someone sit, and then have some, got a level, don't I? See the different levels. If you don't have some place to sit, and you have a crowd scene, what I like to do is group them. I like groups of 3. Maybe have groups, like have a third person here, and then have a couple of spaces, and maybe a couple of people here, and maybe some people over here, and maybe some people over there. Those are what I call standing levels. They don't all look like they're in a chorus line. So there are ways you can do that as an actor, if the director forgets to tell you. Maybe, and the director will tell you if it's bad. Maybe decide, I think I'm going to sit here. And if the director says, I don't think I want you to sit there, that's fine, but giving them that opportunity. So levels. And one more thing, I see this a lot on stage too. Everybody on stage is doing this. See a problem? Does everybody you know when you're talking stand like this? How can we fix this? It's okay. There's nothing wrong with standing like this sometimes. You could do that. Or I could do this. Or maybe I'll put one hand in my pocket. Or there may be, if you see that nobody else has their hands crossed, that might be okay too. You as an actor have to look around. You have to be focused. There's that vocab word again. And you have to pay attention. And you have to be a team. And if everybody else is on stage standing like this, then you have to make a conscious effort to do something else. Do it in character. Don't go. Something like this. Maybe you could just do kind of slow. Oh. Have to pay attention. Those of you in sports, you're part of a team. But believe it or not, so is acting. You're on a team. You have to be, you have to work together. You have to see what's going on. You have to be what I call in the show. If you're on stage, you are in the show, whether you have a line or not. And by doing that, you have to be flexible, watch what's going on. You have to stay focused. You have to have a credible character, even if you have no lines. I was in a show recently where I only had 5 lines, but I was on stage almost the entire time. That was hard. I'm going to tell you right now, that was really hard. What do? I had to be in character. I had to be focused. I had to concentrate on what was going on in the show. As an actor, that is your job. All right? So basic blocking. Have fun, enjoy the rest of your summer, and enjoy these videos. And we'll see you next year.